Right, here we are. I guess part two. The software crashed last time when I was talking about how I could find Ian easily because he's the only guy running around with a scroll now. And that's because he's a broker. He's got the chicken. He's heading up to drop it off at the nest box. The only thing I've done while the video was down was I opened up Dwarf Therapist, which is a utility that comes with Lazy Noob Pack. I can't use it while the video is running because it crashes. I tried a couple minutes ago and it crashed, so I can't alt tab out of the game while recording, so I can't use Dwarf Therapist. To show you how it works, but it lets you change people's jobs really easily. It's a program that just brings everybody up on one screen, and then you can assign them jobs. So I filtered it to look at all the guys that migrated. So the 8 most recent migrants, I turned them into farmers, so that everybody will be farming. It's. I mean, I can use the in-game method for changing jobs, but Dwarf Therapist just makes it so much easier because like everybody's on one screen. You can assign multiple people at once. In this one, you gotta like hit U to go to the unit list, find somebody who isn't doing something. I mean, sleeping doesn't count, but you gotta like you don't know really who isn't totally working. Like this engraver, I have no idea what his other jobs are, but he might just only engrave. So then you like hit C to get to him, and then hit P for professions, L for labor, and it looks like he's got hauling on. Stoneworking. He's got stone detailing. And this one's slightly different color, so he might have something. Yeah, farming, dyeing, plant gathering. So he's already got farming on. But that's how you do it. It's like one guy at a time, and you gotta cycle through all these. And Dwarf Therapist just at a glance tells you everything they're doing and how good they are at it. So like I have no idea how good that guy is at engraving. He could be like a master engraver. I doubt it, honestly, because I haven't engraved anything. So he probably started the game with it. But he, technically he could be a master engraver, and I would have no idea, and I could be like, well, we need farmers, so go farm, master engraver. But Dwarf Therapist would let you know that he's a master engraver, and that would affect your decision on telling him to go farm. It'd be like, well, I don't want a master engraver wasting his time farming. After watching my last video, which it is a chunk of time, I realized that I got distracted after Angus built his crossbow and didn't order any bolts to be made. I came down here to do it and then immediately thought, oh crap, gotta build that trade depot, and then that whole thing happened. I don't know how many bolts are made at once. I think maybe 10. So he should probably bring some wood down and make 10 bolts, so that'll be like 40. I think I accidentally screwed up all of these. I think when I hit free bed that it instead just destroyed the room. So that's why so many people are still sleeping outside. So instead, just hit R, enter, make a room, don't assign it. People will just come and take it on their own, and then it'll have like current owner. Nobody. Current owner will be somebody eventually. Okay, there we go. Oh, we get 50 food, probably all mushrooms. 30 drinks. It's not bad. He's still set to brew repeated. So hopefully the next harvest of mushrooms come in before they eat and brew all the current stock of mushrooms. Otherwise, he'll eventually be like, oh, we've run out of material to brew with, which will also mean we've run out of mushrooms to eat. Looks like the wall is starting to get built a little bit. They must have finished hauling gems to that stockpile. Looks like the eagle is trying to get itself killed by a yak. It's a pretty crazy eagle. Pick a fight with a yak. Especially since that eagle's the wild one. Yeah, I'm starting to get concerned that maybe I gotta move. I mean, I thought they would. Move these rocks out of the way when they wanted to build. Like when you tell them to build a workshop, they'll go to the workshop and be like, oh, there's crap in the way, and then they'll start moving it. But, I just watched him walk up with a rock to that wall and then put it down and say, oh, there's something blocking it. I think I'll designate a dump. just a temporary dump, you know, throw crap here. Garbage dump. And then I can look. Doesn't look like anything's in the way. But, yep, you can see I'm grabbing those stones I set to dump and bringing it over there. It's also a good way if you don't want to stockpile your rocks, but you want to get them out of the way, like clean up your place. A dump, you can set it to only be 1 square big, and it'll hold anything you want to dump. So you could like stick 100 rocks on 1 square and reclaim them later. So like I could have like put the dump down by the carpenter. I mean the mason, and then like had everybody just dump a whole bunch of rocks into that square and then reclaim them, and then whenever the mason wanted stuff he could go and get it off that tile. Actually, I didn't dump everything. When something is slated for dumping, you can see it. It's got that D. The dolomite's got a big D next to it. If you hit dump again, it'll stop the order for dumping. There's like no trees left over here. Is that like 2 or something? Yeah, 2 trees. We only got 1 mason, so it's gonna take a while to build this. Plus, stone is our primary resource, so it's kind of a unfortunate bottleneck. Can't really do anything right now because our mason is needed everywhere. Like he's got to build tables and chairs for the dining hall. He's got to build that wall up there. There's other, stone related stuff we're gonna need. Might as well put that engraver to work, I guess. Designate smoothing first. You can't engrave non-smooth stone. gonna smooth over the dining hall, make it pretty. Dwarves appreciate a nice, smooth dining hall. Like right now, it's like roughly cut. It's like a coal mine sort of. The walls are just kind of roughly flattened. This will be like, this guy's going in there with a chisel and flattening everything, cutting off all the rough corners and edges, and I guess the equivalent of taking sandpaper to the wall. I don't think we have a very large pop. We got 19 people. Maybe someone was born. I doubt an immigration wave came with only one person. But yeah, 19, not a lot. Looks like people are starting to sleep in their bedrooms now. Also looks like some of the rooms have owners. Just some of them. Not a lot yet. Those are the stone pots. You can see I'm bringing them up here to start supplementing our barrels for wine collection. I think they can put prepared food in there too. So far it's only beer, but that's because we got a repeat order on brew drink. And it looks like, well, let's check our stocks here. 80 plants, yep. It looks like we finally got enough farming going on that guy can just brew all day long and not run out of mushrooms and stuff. We do have cave wheat growing, so that concerns me. I mean, it's not growing right now, but it should be growing dimple cups, but it's not. Either we've run out of dimple cup seeds, which would mean they planted them and didn't harvest them, or the farmers are all busy here and have no time to spare. I don't know. But like I was saying yesterday about the cave wheat, it's fairly useless grown without a quern or a mill to process it. So all the wheat I've harvested up till now, so it must be just sitting somewhere waiting to be processed, or I'm not sure if it'll rot. If it has, then it will have rotted and gone. Here's some migrants. I like to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That one looks like a soldier. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. There's a cook. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. It's pretty intense. 29. Up to 48. It says we don't have any soldiers, but I could have sworn that one looked exactly like one. You can see their pictures, what they are, here's my mouse. Like all miners will look like this guy, and rangers who look like Ian with their weird little green cloaks on. So we got a few of those guys who came. I noticed one of these, a stoneworker, in the group, and I thought I saw like a crazy soldier guy, but it says we don't have any, so. Confuses me. I saw some farmers and maybe one or two fisher guys. But with all those new people, we're gonna start expanding. So we'll pick somebody. Well, first I guess I mean, if I could use Dwarf Therapist, I'd see if any of these guys that showed up had blacksmithing skills. But I'm just gonna have to look here and hope I notice somebody that looks like they got some blacksmithing skills. At least they color code them. At least I mean, it looks like I think purple's nobility. That's why Ian's a broker. And these green ones appear to be farming and animal care related. And then these are crafting. And then these blue ones are fishing. These are the farming. So the green ones up there are just animal related, that like hunting, trapping, training, whatnot. The red ones are babies. So I assume this guy has nothing to do. He's classified as a peasant and has no job right now. Same with the thresher spinner. These guys, the suturer, he's probably a doctor. I'll make him into our head chief medical doctor, which is a nobility position. Let's see. I'm not totally sure what I'm looking for. Yep, here we are. So we want all of that on. Okay. Might as well set another guy. So I set him. And the thresher. I don't need any threshing. I'm gonna check to make sure that's all he's got. Yeah. I have no idea how good he is at it, but I assume it's just a basic skill. He's not gonna be extremely proficient at it since he migrated here. And we're gonna make him metalsmith as well. Let's make sure what this is. Furnace, weapon, armor, black, and metal. Okay. 2 of them. Probably should get one more. Alright. We got 3 people set to furnace. Well, metalsmithing as a whole. And oh great. So like a Special monster has arrived. You can see him there by the lake. It looks like we either have a... well, yeah, we did have some rangers come. Hunters. That's what these crossbow bolts are flying around. Somebody's like super pissed right there. Like red question mark. He is hunting. He's a competent Mark's dwarf. Okay, so you can check their actual skills. It's just not on the same page. Where'd he go? I think he might have like fell into the lake, yeah. They're just pelting him with arrows. Let's see the combat report. The flying steel bolt strikes him in the upper body, tearing the muscle, fracturing the left floating ribs, and tearing the liver. See, that sounds grisly, but he's still alive. Not only did it strike him there, it lodges firmly in the wound, like he's not going to be able to get it out. The goblin vomits. Yeah. Yes, excellent. There, he's dead. Let's take a look at... Did he drop anything? He's got an iron crossbow. It didn't look like he was firing back. He's got a leather dress. Must have been like a girl goblin. He's got a silk quiver. He's got some leather armor. Mittens. Nothing fantastic. What's that? Do these hunters just show up and start? Yeah. Murdering badgers. Ian would be jealous. Look at all those dead badgers. Those are the bees. Wonder what that is. Eagle. Well, I bet all those... Oh, there's 3 badgers left. There's missing. What? Oh. This is the deceased list. Well, I'm glad it wasn't like an invasion or something. I'd have been like, well, great. Goddamn wall ain't done. we're gonna have to like make our stand in the Great Hall. to dig some more rooms. Put Mark to work. Oops. Screwed that up by one spot. Alright. Don't think that's enough rooms though. We got 40 people, 20, yeah, we're gonna have to dig a bunch. Probably should get that metal production up quick and make another pickaxe or two. Or at least buy one. Depending on when the next trader shows up, and it's probably going to be the elves. Just from experience, they seem to always be the second guy to show up. It'll be the dwarves show up first, and then it's usually the elves, and then the humans. Oh boy, the mason is assisting. So that means nobody's building this wall. I should probably find work for those fisher dwarves. He's a competent mace dwarf, wow. Armor user, shield dodger. Well, we will consider making him. A warrior leader. So it appears I'm just going to make all these fisher dwarves into masons and floor detailers. Just because I got plenty of farmers. Probably want to check out those two engravers near the top too. Maybe check to see if they got mining and mason as well, or if they're just planning on being full-time engravers, which I don't approve of. Eventually you want to, like, you know, smooth out and engrave a lot of your fortress, so it's alright to set this many people to the task. Looks like he's got some sort of farming. Well, if he's a farmer, I don't want him doubling mining, so... Gonna need the carpenter to make some more beds. Oh yes, I also bet they brought animals with them. I should remember to put them in here every time. They brought a bunch of animals, but then again, that was a pretty big migrant wave. Should also set a stockpile for corpses. It's pretty big, but I think I'm not sure if corpses ever decay. I hope they do. I don't usually watch, but it's good to just get them out of the way. Like you can see them, all those little purple wishbones or whatever, or bodies. Not to mention they named bodies like the B's for badgers and G for goblin. The wall's almost done, except for those two spots that are having trouble. Try to unsuspend them. See if they get built this time. Yep, elves have arrived. Elves are picky. They don't like anything made out of wood. They'll sell you wood. They probably even know what you're gonna do with it, but they won't buy any wood. In fact, they'll get pissed and like storm out if you try to sell them wood. They'll be like, "Oh, look, this once beautiful thing of nature twisted to like I don't know, a natural purpose or something." They're pretty, tree huggers, which just further makes me laugh that they're willing to sell wood to you. They're like, yes, we're gonna look the other way. We'll sell you this wood. We're gonna pretend that you're gonna worship the wood, but deep down we know that you're gonna just make beds out of them. Oh, the bridge is getting built. I'm pretty sure they'll buy pots. They won't buy anything in barrels. There it is. The bridge is done. The wall is 1 square away from being complete. Then we could have Mark install the mechanisms on the bridge to make it raise and lower. There's Ian. Ian, you are requested at the depot. Ian doesn't care. You might get fired here, Ian. Because when it's time to work, you want to eat. Which is typical for you, but can't have that kind of laziness about. There we go. Ian's finally ready to do his job. Alright, this is the first time you're going to see trading carried out. The first time we just briefly looked at this menu, and then I exited out to go, get stuff to sell, and then we never ended up getting back to this menu because Ian felt like a nap was more important than trading for our supplies. But you arrow key over here, or 6 on the numpad, whatever you're using, and then you mark for trade. Now these aren't terribly valuable. It's like 20 bucks, 10, 40, 40, 30. Next to that is the weight. So like these scepters are 9 pounds, but these amulets are only 1. I'm just gonna sell it all. Those little symbols next to it, like next to the name, is the quality. So that's why like this star bracelet is worth 80 because it's like a higher quality than this bracelet, which is just normal. This is like a $10 bracelet, and this is like an awesome bracelet. And then these minus signs are like, but it's not. I think it might be whatever. You can actually make bad items. They go the other way. Like there's the normal, and then there's a symbol for like lower quality. But most of the symbols mean they're good. I think there's only one symbol for terrible. I don't think I've seen any, but it's possible. Let's see, we're gonna buy wood. And we don't have a lot of money to work with, 600 bucks. I'm kind of disappointed with the wine. I thought the wine was good quality, but it looks like it was the pots. The pots were made to a higher standard, but the wine within is not. So we'll have to thank Khan for making very good pots to put our swill in. Alright, buy a bunch of wood. Might as well grab that cedar. Okay. Got 500. You can't spend all of it. The trader wants a decent profit, so like if you leave him like 20% on top or something, he should accept the trade. A pickleberry. I like seeds. Just not sure which ones I want to get. I like wild strawberry. You'll always run into this, because they bring along like, I don't know, 10 bins of cloth, and each bin shows you all the cloth in it, so you gotta scroll through that huge wall of cloth. I'm just buying some strawberries as well, because I think when you eat the strawberries, you have a chance of getting some of the seeds. Okay, we went through everything. Still got 300 bucks left. Might as well buy some barrels. Maybe some cloth. Alright, Now you hit T to trade. If you hit O to offer the marked items, you're just basically giving them stuff for free. You're like, here, take this as goodwill. There is reasons why you would want to do that. You can build up relations with these traders, and giving them free stuff is probably the fastest and best method to gaining their trust and friendship. Also, the value of all goods you've given away for free, I think, gets calculated towards your town's like global prestige. Is the only way I could describe it. Eventually, once you have created enough wealth in your town, which I'll show you later, and added along with how much free crap you've given away, your town can become like the capital in the area. But I don't want to give anything away for free. I'm going to trade. And he did it. He was like, alright, good deal. He says, oh, wonderful. Thank you for your business. Now we got all that crap there. They're gonna dump it. The wood will go in that stockpile, and I don't think I have a stockpile for cloth, so it'll just sit there. Everything we don't have a stockpile for will just remain on the floor there in the trading area. I like to farm underground, and I can farm above ground crops underground, but it takes some work, and I don't want to do it, so I'm gonna put the straw. Well, it's such a long distance to go. Don't want to do it, but how does that work? The water got stuck on the other side of the, like that water should be going down those stairs. Whatever. Let's see if it'll work. Gonna designate a channel. It's blinking, so somebody's on their way. Boom. Alright, down a level. Designate channel. Oh no, he did it. Better cancel that. Second channel. Okay, good. Designate channel. Cool. Alright. Drop down here. Now you can see that this square is designated at the bottom here as outside light above ground, even though it is nowhere near above ground. It's like 3 stories underground. But the deal is sunlight has struck this tile, and this tile is now considered as above ground. It's probably a bug of some kind that they'll eventually fix, but For right now, this tile is considered above ground. So I can farm above ground crops here because I dug that hole. We're gonna go ahead and designate a plot. Not designate, build a plot. I think I'll make it just a tad bit smaller since. Okay, yeah, that'll do. Wonder what they're growing here. Cave wheat. I better build a quern soon. I don't know what they're doing with that cave wheat. Honestly, they can't eat it, can't brew it. They might be able to brew it. Let's check the wine, see if any. I think cave wheat turns into rum or something. Doesn't look like we have much wine. Maybe. Yep. Stopped brewing. Back to work. This guy's still preparing lavish meals. That's good. I like to sell meals. That means probably nobody's eating mushrooms anymore. Alright. So now you can see that because of that one plot, this whole farm now is considered above ground, even though all of the spots around it weren't. So I can plant a bunch of above ground crap here and underground stuff like plump helmets. But I don't want to plant underground stuff here. I want to plant strawberries. So spring, summer, autumn, winter. Alright. Strawberries all year round. Strawberries get turned into booze, obviously, and I think that guy just took wheat, just regular old wheat, not even ground up, to the brewery. That's good that the wheat can be used to brew, even though it's not querned or milled. But yeah, the strawberries, they're food and drink. And you want to have a variety of drinks, because, you know, like Khan was complaining before, he gets tired of the same old booze. More migrants. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 59 people. feel like I should make the dining hall a much higher priority. Because everybody's kind of hanging out at that wagon. Because it's considered the dining hall right now. They dug out all those rooms. I suppose I wanted the dining hall to be more furnished before I made it, but whatever. To make it, you interact with buildings. You hit Q, go to the table, R, make a dining room. I like to make it big. I can't make it too big. Till I get doors there. Doors will block the, yeah. And plus the dining hall ain't even done. It's gonna be expanded. So, yeah, that's big enough. And it'll be the meeting hall. You have to turn on meeting hall. I think you can only have one. And the meeting hall is where everybody hangs out when they're not doing stuff. So now they should come in. Especially all those cats. I mean, look at them. We started with 2 and now we got a herd. A murder of cats. I'm going to remove the wagon slated for my removal. I don't want them hanging out there anymore. And there's our goats. So many of them now. I've never had goats before, so I'll have to figure out what they're good for. Probably cheese, and you probably don't shear them. I will attempt it, but you probably don't shear goats. Uh-oh, our glassmaker has been possessed. You can see him there with that purple exclamation mark. I don't know if it's a population thing or if it's just random, but there is a point when your dwarves will start becoming possessed and having fey moods and, removing themselves from dwarven society and stuff, and then they attempt to make legendary items. And they give you some clues as what they need and stuff. So, like, I assume we have the workshop he wants because he's on the move. We'll see. No, we don't. He's just hanging out. So, what was destroyed? Job item lost. Someone must have ate the food he wanted to turn into a meal. Build workshop. He's a glass maker, but it really doesn't matter. It could be anything. I guess we'll start off by building the workshops we intended to build here. So that. And then a furnace, which is its own thing. Like next to workshop is furnaces. We're gonna need a wood. And a smelter. He is a glass worker, so I suppose we will get a glass furnace. I don't usually bother with glass, but he will die if he doesn't get that mood satisfied. He'll be possessed, and then eventually, like, he'll just go crazy and do something like kill himself or kill somebody, or lock himself in his room until he starves to death. It's pretty intense. Yes, he has claimed the glass furnace. Unfortunately, I don't think we have any sand. I mean, I know where to get some, but... And of course, the game is screwing up and putting a bunch of symbols in the words. Rough color, raw green. Those are your clues to what he wants. Raw green. I assume that's raw green glass. Rough color. I have no idea what that is. But he wants 2 items, and he hasn't grabbed anything, so we have neither of them. We'll try mining some of this sand, see if that helps. Well, that's weird. I've never mined sand before, and it looks like it just spills out over the ground. I wonder if you can collect it, or... For some reason they were just refusing to build that wall. So I canceled it and I'm trying to do it again. Yep, and then they built it, no problem that time. I told him to dump that body. It was starting to stink up the area there. Putting some more beds. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 more to finish off that. We'll hook up the there's a bunch of animals, probably from that migrant group. Okay, so they brought a bunch of puppies and kittens. We didn't need all of them. I'm afraid that glassmaker's as good as dead, it appears. I don't know how to help him. I don't mess around with glass usually, so I don't even know where to get green glass. To prevent them from going on like a killing spree, some people wall them in, like they'll build a wall around their workshop so he can't get out, and then when he flips out and goes crazy from not being able to complete his legendary item, he'll just be stuck in there. He won't be able to go on a murderous rampage. But I don't think I gave myself enough room to. Yeah. I don't got any room to build a wall around it. We're just gonna have to hope he doesn't decide to go down swinging. Just making these bedrooms so people can start sleeping here. Gonna build that trap and levers, capital T lever. I'm gonna put that in the corner of the Great Hall, because there's always gonna be people here, and when you want that lever pulled, it's the closest guy that does it, so there'll always be somebody close to pull the lever. So we got 6 mechanisms. I think Mark has to build it, because he's the mechanic. So he'll run over here and build that lever. Might as well have the mason start making some more tables. shares. And maybe some more pots. There, that lever's done. Q to interact with it because it's a building. You built the lever. Gonna add a task and we're gonna link it to a bridge. B. It automatically selects the closest bridge, I think, that isn't linked up. So as long as you're not building like multiple bridges and then trying to link them up, I've never tried that. So you might have some sort of means of selecting between them, but we only have the one bridge, so assign it and then pick the mechanisms. I don't think the quality matters, but just go ahead and select them. And now Mark should carry some mechanisms up to the bridge and hook it up. And now when you pull that lever, the bridge will come up. And then pull it again and it'll go down. Anybody flattened by the bridge gets killed. And anybody standing on the bridge gets like tossed. I don't think tossing kills you unless you like plan it, like dig a big hole and then toss somebody into the hole and then you take like fall damage. I don't know, there's at least in other videos I've watched, people claim that you could make traps that incorporate the throwing of bridges. Okay, so I think the bridge is set up. I don't want to test it because there's farm animals in the kill zone of the bridge. We're starting to get enough animals that there's a large noticeable area of eaten grass. I don't think it's big enough. It's only like 15% of the field. It's not big enough to be a problem yet. Gonna finish off these beds. Alright, so it looks like once we get that charcoal burnt from wood, we can use it to make coke out of lignite. So then we won't have to burn any more wood, because it looks like 1 unit of charcoal and 1 unit of lignite will make 5 units of coke, and that's like 5 pieces of charcoal. Well, the equivalent of, I suppose. I don't think we have any flux stone. So we might not be able to make steel. Because I think flux stone is like sedimentary rocks, like marble and whatnot, slate. I think I'm gonna dig out an office, make a bean counter. What's his name? Bookkeeper. Because right now there's all these question marks. Like everybody's like, well, we think we got 50 drinks, maybe 20 plants. It's like a sort of just a glancing count of stuff. The bookkeeper's job is clerical, like just count up all this, keep an accurate stock of what we have. I'm just trying to find out what happened to that guy. He's no longer in the glass furnace, so I don't know if he like went suicidal or if he's just gonna hide in his room until he starves to death or something. I have no idea where he went. I just know that death is inevitable, so I'm gonna have to build him a coffin. There he is. He's got a blue exclamation point. Looks like he's shedding his clothes. Pretty crazy. Running around babbling. He's lost it. So we needed the furnace to make the items he wanted. So that sucks. Maybe he wanted green and clear glass. Doesn't matter now. Let us find. Whoop, there's a party. Mark is attending the party. I think we better look this way. Nobody has any relevant skills. I guess we'll find somebody with nothing to do. Ready to get a cook. Adequate cook, competent, Marksdorf. Kind of surprised how many combat skills these guys have. Well, they're all adequate cooks. I guess this one will do. Rith. Axe Delight. Alright. Rith. Okay. So, to set this room to be an office, you gotta interact with the chair with Q. Make it a little smaller to fit in their room. I'm gonna assign it. Oops. Assign it to Rith, the bookkeeper. And I decided to assign this bedroom as well. Just so that Rith is close to the office at all times. For some reason, maybe they're married, I don't know. There's 2 people now assigned to that room when I assigned it. Odd, but I could only assume that maybe they're married. Let's see if, yes, the bookkeeper had a required demand over there and it has been satisfied. So it's going to take a while to count everything, so it's not going to be immediate. But he should constantly keep going to his office and counting up the stock. Okay, we should have that charcoal done, so... No, it's not. Great. I'm sure we made like 3 metalsmiths, so any one of them should be able to make charcoal, so I'm confused. They must be like up to something else. I think we better build a butcher, because we got plenty of animals.